Hello there. With Solo possibly becoming the very first Star Wars film in history to be a financial flop, one question remains. What is the future of Star Wars post-Solo? Well, I think it's safe to say that we are going to get plenty of Star Wars films in the future. There is no doubt about that. I am perfectly sure of that. But I think perhaps not on the original frequency that was intended, if that makes any sense at all. I did read somewhere that Disney had plans to release up to 2 Star Wars films a year. I would imagine possibly more as time went on. Something similar to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where with Marvel you get like 2 or 3 Marvel films a year. I don't think you can really do that with Star Wars. Mostly because historically Star Wars has been something special. You literally had to wait years to see a Star Wars film. Once upon a time, you had to wait years to get a new to get a new film from this franchise. During the time of the prequels, you had to wait about 3 years just to get the next installment. And I think in those days, the anticipation, the hype, the build-up was amazing when a new Star Wars film was announced, and when you had the trailers. In the old days, when you got a trailer for a new Star Wars film, the trailer was for like a film that was going to be released well over a year ahead in the future. So, I mean, with regards to Solo, you had trailers being released 2 or 3 months before the film was released. As memory serves, I'm pretty sure Last Jedi was pretty similar, because I think it wasn't that long before the film was released that you actually started to get some trailers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's pretty accurate. But with regards to Solo, what were the major reasons why it's failing, essentially? Well, the most obvious reason, at least from my point of view, is the fan backlash with regards to The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was so divisive, so polarising. Of course, you are going to get some negative reaction. And considering though that Solo has been released 5 months after The Last Jedi came out, I mean 2 months ago The Last Jedi came out on Blu-ray, so when it comes down to it, it's too soon. It's way too soon. And since fans, the memory of The Last Jedi is still fresh in the minds of the fans, and they are so angry with what had happened in that film, of course they're going to take it out on the next installment. And I think with regards to Solo, it was a shame. Because Solo itself, the film itself, is good. Again, not great, but it's good. It's a perfectly serviceable film. It is perfectly enjoyable. And I think that essentially it suffered due to factors beyond its control. So what Disney needs to do is go back to the December time slots, which I know that they are doing that for Episode 9. Episode 9 is scheduled to come out in December 2019. That is what they should have done for Solo. Solo should have come out December this year. Because I thought it was such a weird choice. When I found out that Solo was coming out in May instead of December, it was so weird. I mean, why did they decide to do that? Because going back to Force Awakens through to Rogue One and The Last Jedi, each of those films had come out in December. Disney had essentially turned Star Wars into like Christmas films to some extent. And then just giving up that tradition and releasing the next film 5 months after your last big installment in the middle of the year, it was risky, and it didn't pay off. I think with Star Wars they have to go back to their original time slots, essentially. Keep releasing these new films in December, because that way you are letting the hype build up, you're letting the excitement build up. That is what you need to do. And with regards to the future of the franchise, I think that it will largely depend on the reaction that Episode 9 will get. Because The Last Jedi was so divisive, what Episode 9 really needs to do is try and fix some of the problems that Last Jedi had. You can't fix them all, unfortunately. You can't fix all the problems that Last Jedi had, otherwise you essentially need to retcon the whole film. You can't really do that. And so you basically have to fix what you can. One of the things that would definitely set things back on the right track with regards to Episode 9 would be giving us the Luke Skywalker that we never got in Episode 8. We were promised Jedi Master Luke Skywalker in Episode 7. We got about 30 seconds of him at the end of the film, if that. Then we got a whole film of Luke Skywalker, but not as the Luke Skywalker that we all know and love. I hesitate to say that the character that Mark Hamill played in Episode 8 was even Luke Skywalker, because he was just so unrecognisable. Essentially, we never got the Luke Skywalker, the Grand Jedi Master Luke Skywalker from the old Legends material. We never got that character. And I think that hardcore Star Wars fans, especially long-time Star Wars fans, they really want to see Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, the hero that they grew up with as kids. We never got that in Episode 8. I think that if you can deliver that in Episode 9, that would be a great start. Now, there's obviously the next part with regards to Rey's parents. Should the mystery of Rey's parents be changed? Well, not long after the release of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson announced that the identity of Rey's parents is still up for debate, or something like that. I don't know if he's changed his mind recently or not, I don't know, but he said something along those lines not long after his film came out. I think that if you are going to do something with Rey's parents, don't make her a Skywalker. Don't necessarily make her, I don't know, like a grandchild of the Solos or something like that. Like just don't have her related to the main characters. I think that for Star Wars, though, it's such an expansive universe. Not everyone needs to be related to the Skywalkers or to the Solos. Just, if you are going to do something interesting with Rey's parents, do something new, essentially. And, of course, Snoke. This is like beating a dead horse at this point, but before the release of The Last Jedi, you would find umpteen videos about the identity of Snoke, like the mystery behind this new Emperor character. I think that since, well, spoilers, I guess, since you ended up killing him off so unceremoniously in The Last Jedi, you need to address that. You need to give some kind of closure with regards to the character Snoke, because The Force Awakens built up so many plot threads to expand in so many different directions, and The Last Jedi just dropped the ball in all of them, essentially. So I think if Episode 9 can hit a home run, essentially, if Episode 9 can address some of the major problems and be the Star Wars film that the fans want, you know, give the people what they want, you know, give them a great Star Wars film, give them Luke Skywalker, have Mark Hamill be Luke Skywalker. Not this grumpy old hermit in Episode 8, no, have Luke Skywalker be Luke Skywalker. And I think that as soon as Episode 9, you know, assuming they make it a grand success, which I'm sure they will, the future of the franchise will be on the right track again. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, even if they completely screw up Episode 9, we are going to get more Star Wars films regardless. But we want to keep the train on the tracks with regards to this franchise. With regards to these standalone films, I do think that there is a lot of creative opportunities with these standalone films. There's talk of a Boba Fett film, which for me personally, I'm not really interested in. I'll watch it, but I can't say I'm excited for it because I don't really see the attraction of Boba Fett, because I know a lot of fans like him. I never really got the Boba Fett buzz, essentially. But I would like to see an Obi-Wan film, especially with Ewan McGregor. I liked him. He was one of the few great things of the prequels. So I think if we can get a good Obi-Wan Kenobi film, that would be great. If you don't ask me what kind of standalone Star Wars film would I like to see, well, obviously I want to see Thrawn, a Star Wars story, but yeah, that's just me. One interesting question that does bear in mind is Rian Johnson's trilogy. Considering though that Solo has quite obviously suffered as a result of the backlash of The Last Jedi, would Rian Johnson still get his trilogy? That is I think it's too soon to tell. Again, I think it depends on the success of Episode 9. If Episode 9 makes the fans happy again, I would personally say that people will give Rian Johnson a chance with his own trilogy. I said in the previous video, yes, we should give Rian Johnson's trilogy a chance, but needless to say, I think, yes, without a shadow of a doubt, Rian Johnson is on thin ice with regards to the fans at the moment. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.